Welcome back to the Freedom Fries channel. So it's been 2 weeks since the last event, and we're in full prep mode to get the 350Z ready for this upcoming event in 1 week. That event was fantastic. I got a ton of seat time. I did like 50 laps. A set of tires lasted that whole time. I gave a ton of people ride-alongs, and I learned a ton about the car, which is great because the only other event I had done was with this car when it was straight off the flatbed from Copart. I welded the diff, drove to the event like this because my alignment was off, and tried to send it. I did the whole event in like third gear, clutch kicked like 2 times each corner. It was horrible. But to be fair, I hadn't driven this car ever before, and I hadn't driven any production vehicle in 2 years. I'd been in Afghanistan that whole time, so there was a very large learning curve. Now, speaking of learning curve, I pushed the car and myself as hard as I absolutely could. I was trying to just test the very limits of the car, its abilities, and my ability. I spun out a ton in the beginning, and I really didn't start completing laps without spinning towards the very end. There were some issues that I'm not sure, maybe it was driving line or it's a setup issue with the car, but I talked about that all in the last video. You can see that up here. That being said, by the end of the event, when I started following cars, I noticed I was doing much better, and the follow definitely let me nail down where I needed to place the car and allowed me to do much better. So I want to thank the guy in the BMW station wagon, no doors and stuff. Thanks for letting me follow you, whether you knew I was doing it or not. Also, super thank you for not spinning out because I probably would have hit you. At this next event, I really want to follow a 350Z driver that is competent and knows what they're doing. So if you're comfortable having me follow you, I'll give you some space. Please, I'd really, truly appreciate that. That would be fantastic. I think that would really allow me to improve my abilities. My only true gripe with the car was the fact that it didn't have any angle. I was trying to push the car and get it to a position that I thought it should be at, but it just couldn't handle that sort of input. And I've talked about it probably 4 times in other videos, or at least I've recorded me saying it 4 times in videos, that new drivers don't need angle mods. You need to learn the car before you start adding stuff to it, and then you've got this crazy chassis that you have no idea what to do with. So I'm gonna take my own advice. No, I'm not. I'm gonna add an angle kit. The GKTech angle kit was initially released with just a bolt-on adapter. Now the kit itself has gone through a couple different revisions, but it's a very cheap and effective way to add angle to your 350Z. The bolt-on angle kit will bring your tie rod closer towards the pivot point. This will assist with ackerman and prevent over-centering. Whoa, actually, let me stop you right there. The GKTech kit will move the tie rod more inboard, but if anything, that's gonna have a negative effect on your ackerman and increase the chance of over-centering at full lock. I don't have to worry about that because I'm running little girl angle though. The GKTech bolt-on kit would add plenty of angle when compared to the stock setup. However, your angle is limited due to clearance issues. You will either hit the lower control arm or you will hit the sway bar. Some people manage this by either spacing their wheels out or running lower offset wheels. However, many of these people still run into clearance issues with the lower control arm. Because I purchased my car from Copart, it was obviously hit. It was hit in the front right side, which is why at the first drift event I was driving like this because my alignment was so bad. Even though I fixed the alignment, I've identified that the right lower control arm is probably slightly bent. So to correct any clearance issues from this angle kit and improve my alignment issues, I've decided to go ahead and run GKTech's lower control arm. The GKTech lower control arm is a 1-piece unit. This will allow for better clearance because of the design of the actual product, and it will remove the caster gain that's built into the factory 350Z suspension. What it won't fix is my constantly hard nipples. GKTech does offer an upper control arm, but I currently have the SPL piece, and that thing's made of titanium. I don't know if it's made of titanium. And thankfully it will accommodate the 25mm space that the lower control arm designed by GKTech is going to give this car. If I want to space the wheel out more, I will probably have to upgrade to a different upper control arm because the SPL piece is not designed for that sort of adjustability. I am also running the SPL tie rod ends, which offer bump steer correction. So it sucks I have to give those up, but I kind of don't. I could always adapt that rod end and put it onto the GKTech kit. I would just need some sort of spacer. Washers. I would need washers. The only reason why I would do that is because SPL uses QA1 rod ends, which are used in the Baja 1000. And if they can survive the Baja 1000, they can definitely survive drifting. Looking at the differences, you can tell that the SPL kit is significantly thicker. And who doesn't like thicker? Now this video is not going to be a how... Fuck off, fly. Now this video will not be a how-to because GKTech has already put out a fantastic video showing you how to install some of these parts. What I will be doing is showing you the stock angle and then showing you the angle that I've gained by installing this GKTech kit. So let's go ahead and take a look at what factory angle looks like. It's shallow and sad. Using poor man engineering, I was able to measure this out at about 45 degrees of lock. That could be wrong, but using the same method, I'll be able to measure the difference or the angle gain from the GKTech kit. So let's go ahead and get started. So that really wasn't that difficult to do at all. GKTech has a very good how-to, which walks you along perfectly. I only had the smallest problem getting it in on the right side, and that was nothing a rubber mallet couldn't fix. I still have to figure out where to put the stops so that I'm not hitting the tie rod or whatever. They said to make it stop before it hit the brake banjo bolt. I think that's maybe a problem with Brembos or maybe guys that have it spaced out further that are getting more angle. My biggest concern is right now the wheel will hit the tie rod. Although that could probably be rectified if I used a lower offset wheel or if I want to stick the wheels out another inch, which is not something I'm looking to do right now. What I didn't show you was I also changed out the camber rod end so that it doesn't break again. So really all I have left to do is wait for my T-fitting from Chase Bays to complete my ABS brake reroute and get in alignment. I'll probably do some maintenance stuff, maybe change the oil. Do you need to change the oil after every drift event? I guess it's smart. Probably the transmission fluid too, because I'm sure that's never been changed in the life of the car. Although I'm not sure which fluid to use. I've read that the Redline stuff isn't good for the 350Z trans. I've read that it is good. I don't know. I need to look into what trans fluid to run. But then again, I only have a week, so will I even get it in time? So as always, thank you guys. Thank you everyone for watching the videos. I appreciate all of your comments, and I really, really appreciate everyone that's reached out with questions about installs and stuff like that. It actually makes me feel really good to be able to help. But I'm done here, and I need to go drink some water because I'm sweating and I'm dehydrated. So until next time, thanks guys.
Tearing up the street.